energy. So as I'm talking about managing energy, feel free to ask questions. I might be able to see your comments. It's certainly possible. And then I can go from there. So I define managing and protecting your energy as being deliberate about how you're using your energy, how you can handle it so you can have your happiest, most joyful, wonderful life. This applies to how we respond to our challenges, as well as how we handle those energy vampires, the ones who drain our energy because they're so difficult to be around. With deliberate energy, if we're being deliberate about how we're using our energy, we're in our power and we're no longer feeling lost, confused, or helpless. In case you haven't noticed, life is a bit hectic right now. It's kind of going crazy out there. We're living in crazy times. And we've got a lot of bullying going on, a lot of hateful behaviors. Hate seems to be on the rise, as you can see, and there's so much fear and uncertainty. So every day it seems like there's more and more chaos and turmoil. And while it might not be directly impacting us at this time, it is likely with all these rapid changes, it's going to affect us, every single one of us. So right now, on a more personal level, people are also noticing that we're having some like family discord, that kind of thing, where people aren't really supporting us, differences of opinions, all of those things. And part of all of everything that's happening is we feel so disconnected. People don't get us. We might feel like we don't matter. And then on top of that, we feel helpless and powerless. We don't know how we're going to move forward. What can we do to help ourselves feel better? How can we get other people to understand us? All of these things. So is anybody feeling a little bit like, woo, what's going on right now? I think that most of us, if not all of us, will agree that we are in the most chaotic time, and it's a bit disconcerting as we're going with all of these things. So I'm not talking about the strange energies that we're having to further scare you. Instead, I want to talk about how we can understand what's happening out there. If we can understand the energetic reasons for this massive change that is going on around us, then we can be more deliberate about how we're using our energy, how we manage our energy, and how we're handling the chaos. Because people are saying it's been crazy. It's a wild time, isn't it? It really is. So I've mentioned this before, and I'm going to mention it again because it's important for us to remember what I'm about to say. And that is that we are going through a consciousness shift, right? I've been talking about this for years, but we are now at the peak of this. The most intense energy ever is what's happening right now. And everything seems to be falling apart so we can create a new way of living, one that is internally focused on the higher vibrational qualities of kindness, empathy, compassion, caring, and love. And along with this, we're letting go of the old qualities, the ones that were based on superiority or egotistical behaviors, the controlling, hateful, unkind energies that are out there. We're letting go of our focus on the external and moving more into the internal. We want to recognize that we can let go of the idea that whatever is happening in our external lives does not measure who we really are at our soul level. So what's happening out there is the darker energies are being revealed so that they can come to the light, right? They have to come to the light. We are at the peak or the tipping point at this time. Okay, absolutely. As we move into this higher vibrational living, one that's connected to our soul, the truth, the universal divine energy, centered on love and light and the oneness. And this oneness is so important. It is the sense of everyone being connected to each other. And every single person is deserving of having the life where they feel equal, where they are able to live the life they love, where everyone truly is equal and deserving. This also means for everyone here that we must accept each person's uniqueness, and we must enjoy the diversity that we have in this country, in this world, where every single person is free to be themselves and live the life they want to live, where no one is superior, no one is oppressed, and no one is discriminated against. And this is where we're heading, right? This is the oneness that comes from this consciousness shift. What's unfortunate in a way is that so much of this energy, as it's moving and we're having all this chaos and turmoil happening as we're releasing these old energies, is it's causing a lot of chaos and turmoil within ourselves as well, as we are starting to feel uncomfortable, unhappy, uncertain, and scared. And it is necessary during these extreme energies that we manage our energy. Okay, and that's why we're talking tonight, so we can talk about these ideas. So in this oneness concept, and this is so important, especially because this is where we're heading, and it doesn't appear we're quite there yet, does it? In the oneness, we truly care for every single person. We care for ourselves. Okay, we care for others. This is kind of like the idea where you may have heard this comment that what we say or do to others, we will also experience. Okay, that kind of thing. So if we're kind to others, that kind, wonderful energy is going to come back to us. And if we are not nice and we have negative, lower vibrational energies directed toward others, they're going to come back to us as well. So our goal here in managing our energy is to help ourselves shift to that higher vibrational energy, the one of love and connection. In the current energy, obviously, we can see that a lot of people are disconnected. There's a lot of things going on where people are feeling isolated, alone, misunderstood, if even any understood, and they don't feel seen or heard. And we want to, as we are moving into really understanding our energy and working with it, we really want to strengthen our ability to connect with others, to amplify that oneness. And we have to connect with ourselves as well. So what we want to do is, if we are feeling ourselves feeling disconnected or not understood or anything like this, what we want to do is instead turn into ourselves and ask ourselves some questions. So if we're not feeling understood, we might ask ourselves, am I understanding myself? Am I understanding what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling? What is the source of my frustration? So if I see something happening in the news or wherever, and I'm getting frustrated or irritated by it, then I want to question and go, what's happening? Why do I feel this way? Why does this bother me? And then the next question is, what can I do about it? And this is important because in order for us to manage and protect our energy, we have to understand ourselves. We have to understand what we've been doing and if it's working for us or not. We have to understand what's bothering us and why we respond the way we do. If we don't do that, we can't protect our energy. We can't manage our energy. So my first tip in terms of managing and protecting your energy is to be self-aware. So when we think about this, when we don't feel heard or understood, what do we do? What we usually try to do, right, is try to make somebody understand us. We want to justify our thoughts and our ideas to somebody else. And we try very, very hard to make them understand. And then if they don't understand, we get irritated or even angry that they don't get us. They don't understand us. And as things fall apart in the world around us, our energy has gotten, shall I say, hypersensitive. So we get really bothered by things, maybe more so than we would have a few short years ago. So we might, in that trying to force others to conform or to see our point of view, it brings up a lot of different kinds of reactions from us. And we can fall into anxiety or anger, be withdrawn, clingy, distant, any of these things. And what's happening is we are acting without awareness. We're unconsciously trying to protect our energy by withdrawing or by getting angry, by doing something like this. But it's not deliberate. It's like this automatic reaction, a knee-jerk reaction to something. So to manage your energy and self-awareness, you recognize that these responses, these reactions you're doing aren't helping you. Trying to get another person to change and see your point of view is only increasing your inner chaos. Think about that for a second, right? It's increasing it. So you're not being intentional in your response. And you might recognize that now that we're talking about it. And as we think about this, this gives you a better understanding of yourself, which helps you figure out how you're going to manage your energy moving forward. So to increase the self-awareness further, in this consciousness shift, it is important that we recognize that you, me, everyone is also shifting. We are all shifting to a higher vibrational version of ourselves. Isn't that interesting? We're letting go of the old ways of doing things. We're letting go of the old us, the old you who maybe was concerned about meeting other people's expectations or making them happy. Or you're letting go of the old you who has a dream but is too scared to go after it. You're letting go of the old you who was lost and confused, feeling like you'll never have a better life. And as you're evolving into this new version of you, you're also letting go of the inner critic. The inner critic that's full of all those lies about you're unworthy and undeserving. You're letting go of those as well. This is important for us to recognize because as we start shifting into our true self, our soul's energy self, as we shift into that, we start embracing the higher vibrational qualities that are important to us. The love, the light, the kindness, the caring, compassion, empathy, all of those things. And as we embrace those, our vibration rises and we get energetically stronger. And then we become more intentional about how we're using our energy. And as we're doing this, becoming more intentional about stepping into our soul's truth, the love, the light, all of those things, our vibration does raise and it affects every single person around us, whether or not they have direct interaction with us, if you will, simply by our vibration changing. That's what's happening. So from this self-aware perspective, where you are choosing to live from a higher vibration, where you're choosing to live as your soul, where you're choosing to be in those wonderful qualities of love, light, and kindness, all of those things, you're getting a better understanding of yourself. And then you have different options in how you're going to use your energy, how you respond to other people who don't understand you. So if your attempts to get others to understand you aren't working, here's another tip for managing your energy. Stop trying that. Don't do it anymore. Just stop. Okay, this is going to protect your energy. So to feel better, you want to let go of that idea that they have to understand you, right? Every time we're upset with somebody, we want to explain to them, we want them to get us, we want them to understand. And so we try harder and harder and harder to convince them to listen to our point of view so that we could feel better. But instead, we want to let go of that idea. Just let it go. Forget about it. So you can do this a few ways. I'm going to give you 3 ways that will help you manage that part, letting go of wanting someone else to understand you. The first way is to simply decide they don't have to understand you. Okay? They don't have to. You don't have to believe that anymore. The simple decision to do that actually strengthens your power and protects your energy. Okay? You're no longer wasting your energy on an idea that's keeping you stuck. Because when we're trying to get somebody to understand us, we are actually stuck in our energy. We have moved out of being intentional. We're now unintentional. We're just doing whatever we can think of to feel better when actually what we're thinking of, trying to get them to understand, is making us feel worse. So stop. Just let it go. Stop waiting for that. So many people say, well, I have to do that. They have to understand me. Well, they don't. So you can just let that part go. Part of it is, I think sometimes we feel righteous, like I'm right and you're wrong and I've got to prove it. And so you've got to concede to me. And we don't want that to happen because that's just making your energy worse. So in other times we feel like we've got to hold on to that anger or that desire. And so that Once they do understand, we're going to feel better. I'm a really big one on not waiting until later to feel better. You know, like if this happens, then I'm going to feel better. So let that part go. Just let it go. The second thing, after deciding you're going to stop wanting them to understand you and letting that desire go, after that, the second thing, if you're having a really hard time doing it, an energetic strategy that you can do is to write out your concerns, your issues, what you want the other person to tell you, how you would feel better, etc., etc. Write it out on a piece of paper, then burn or bury it. Okay, that's an energetic strategy. Another one you can do is you can take that energy and put it into a crystal. Like a quartz crystal is good for this. And so put it in that there. Just hold it, describe everything to your crystal, and then cleanse it in water. Sometimes this symbolism can help us move into a different understanding, so it's easier for us to let go of those things we want. Okay, now, to continue with the focus on self-awareness for a moment, in any scenario where you feel upset, unheard, frustrated, whatever it is, in any scenario, you want to be intentional with your energy and how you're going to respond from the highest vibration possible. You want to be intentional. Many people think, well, actually, before we do that, the highest vibration possible, let's just tell you what that is. That would be the love vibration, right? The highest vibration possible is responding from love. Now, here's where many people think that responding from love means we let people walk all over us, that we aren't supposed to be bothered by cruelty or judgment, criticism, whatever it is. Lots of times people think if we respond from love, that means we approve of the situation or circumstance, and that's not it at all. Not at all. To manage your energy, you must be intentional. You must be deliberate. You pause, you check in with yourself, and you decide what the best response is. And when we do this, we're going to start with what the best response is for ourselves. Okay, that's not being selfish. We're managing our energy. We have to check in with ourselves. So what is the most loving response to yourself? Okay, what is that? And as you think about it, you know, being intentional with your energy, is it that you're removing yourself from a situation? Is it that you're letting go of expectations or wanting another person or situation to be different? What is the most loving response? Is it letting go of trying to get another person to see your point of view? Now, with this, you want to be very clear about what kind of energy you're creating as you handle a situation, right? Our response, our reaction to a situation is creating more energy. So what kind of energy are we creating? Are we creating more fear or chaos or judgment toward ourselves or other people? Or are we creating a response that raises the vibration? That's going to move us more into that loving response. What is best for ourselves? It's a little bit of a different way of managing our energy, I think, because so many of us just don't think about it that way. You know, automatically we think about all the different energetic techniques we can do, which are lovely and helpful. But at the same time, we have to go with our heads in terms of what feels right. I shouldn't say heads, our body energy of what feels right to us, how we're going to do this. So as we're doing this, we're thinking about what energy we're going to create from a loving perspective to other people is obviously going to be our higher choice. So after you do this, then you're going to create the ideas of whatever it is to help the other person maybe, or to respond to them for the most loving response for them. And this is going to vary based on the situation. So think about this for a second. You're trying to get somebody to change their mind and they don't want to change their mind. So what kind of energy are we creating then? We're creating discordant energy. There's a problem here. So if we stop trying to get them to change their minds. And we step back, we go, you know what, the most loving response for me, myself, is to remove myself from this energy. And maybe the most loving response for that person is also for me to remove myself from this energy and stop trying to force my opinion on them. Because we don't like when somebody's forcing their opinion on us. Why would they like it if we're forcing it on them? They're not going to. So we want to remember, think about what kind of energy you're creating. Now, this doesn't mean we necessarily give in to someone else to keep the peace. This doesn't mean we let them criticize us or be mean to us. We look at the situation and understand their desires and criticisms are actually creating negative, lower vibrations, right? And then we refuse to respond from that same energy. We're not going to do it. So maybe the most loving response is simply not engaging. We just don't engage. Now, this can be really hard to do because we do get triggered by other people's behaviors sometimes. But if you make a commitment to be intentional about protecting your energy and raising your vibration, responding from love, you have a much better chance of succeeding. And after you've done it a few times of pausing and deciding how you're going to respond and being intentional about it, after you've done this a few times, you're going to feel so much better and more powerful, and it will be easier and easier to keep doing. I think a lot of us find it difficult to slow down enough to be intentional. And if we are wanting to manage our energy and protect it, we have to do that. And during this chaotic time, we particularly need to slow down and be deliberate about how we're responding, how we're living, what we're thinking. Now, I've got some more thoughts on managing and protecting your energy, but before I get to those, I do want to mention my Reimagine Your Life retreat coming up in May 16th through 18th. And this is a retreat where you're going to get to explore what your ideal life is. You're going to get more clarity on that, and you're also going to get strategies, energetic ones and practical ones, to help you let go of whatever is blocking you from your ideal life. It's an amazing, transformative retreat and so much fun in a beautiful lakeside setting. And we're also there, when we're there this year, we are going to be talking about how to manage our energy, of course, because it's essential with what's going on. And also we're going to talk about more on how to do the backwards approach. So for those of you who have been there to the Transcendence class and learned about the backwards approach, or you're in one of my coaching programs and we did it, we're going to do a little bit with that there, because that helps us be more deliberate as we're moving forward. Now, one thing I did discuss last night with my people in the soul empowerment community was how important it is to still go after our dreams during this chaotic time. And as I was thinking about it and as I was getting information from Spirit on it, it seemed a little weird to me, that with everything that's happening and there's so much negativity out there, that I felt like I should, maybe not go after my dreams, that I should really just be more concerned about what's happening in the world. And Spirit was very clear with me and said, we absolutely have to go after our dreams and our goals. Because when we do this, our energy raises. We're making a difference in the world. We feel more optimistic, more hopeful. We're living with purpose and meaning and joy. And these are all qualities that are going to continue raising the vibration. So even though there is chaos and turmoil out there, we absolutely have to go after our dreams. We really do. Another part that Spirit gave me was the point that we need to maintain connections with other people. We need to be there with other people to uplift each other, support each other, whether it's your family, your friends, your colleagues, people in the soul empowerment community, the community we have right here. As I'm talking to you, we have a community, and it is important for us to be there for each other, especially now while we're going through this transition and we're in so much darkness. It is so essential that we step into the life of our dreams. So I wanted to mention those things because these are important for us in terms of managing our energy. Some more thoughts on that is we want to be aware of what we're focusing on. If we are upset and holding on to pain, you know how that goes. Something happens, you're really upset, it sticks in your head. You're repeating that story of how everything has gone wrong, how life is unfair, how things are scary, etc. If you are focusing on that energy, you are going to create more of it. You've heard this before. This isn't new. What you're focusing on, you create more of. We want to instead think about this, be more intentional, be more self-aware. To manage your energy, decide if you want to feel better, right? Do you want to feel better? And if you do, then take appropriate action. Change your mind, change your thoughts, change your responses, prioritize your energy. Lots of times people say, no, I do want to feel better. I do want to feel better. And then we're back to that story of how this person wronged them, or how life is so unfair, or they can't get ahead, or whatever it might be. So if we're going to focus on these problems, we're going to attract more of that energy toward us. So we want to prioritize our energy and be intentional about what we're focusing on. This doesn't mean that if something goes wrong, you don't have an upset reaction. Of course, you're going to have an upset reaction, right? But we don't want to get stuck there. So we want to feel it and move on, go forward with it. So be aware to manage, protect your energy. Be aware of what you're focusing on. Even if there's chaos out there, that doesn't mean you have to spend 59% of your time focused on the chaos. Make it 10%. Do whatever you have to do to protect yourself. The next thing to think about is, how do you spend your energy? So managing and protecting your energy, be intentional. Think about it. How do you spend your energy? You need to know how you spend your time. How do you spend your time? Are you doing things that are uplifting, helpful, things that you enjoy doing? You need to know what your energy can tolerate, what your energetic needs are. You have to know when your energetic tolerance has been exceeded, right? We have to know this. How much time can you spend with a person who bothers you before you feel like you're going to lose it totally? Okay, these are things we need to be aware of if we're going to manage our energy. We also want to pay attention to when you get overwhelmed with too much noise, too much sound, or if a situation is overwhelming you. We need to recognize this and then honor our energy and take action on this. Lots of times we as humans, what do? We power through. We keep going because that's what we were taught to do. May not be the best way if we're going to manage our energy and feel better. Sometimes we just don't want to upset or disappoint people. So we keep doing something, even though our energy might be calling out to us and saying, stop, you've got to stop now. It's too much. We don't want to upset somebody by walking away or whatever. Or sometimes we succumb to pressure from others or even ourselves because it's easier than being deliberate and intentional and possibly upsetting people, or even changing the status quo. You know what it's like sometimes when you try to change the status quo, do something different and people around you don't like it. So then we kind of backtrack a little bit. I don't want to make them upset. So I'm just going to keep doing these things, even though my energy says no. So stop powering through. That's a big one for us. If you're tired or mentally over it, you're just done, take a break and go do something different. So pay attention to how you're spending your energy. These days, with the energy around us being so intense, like it's so intense right now, many of us have a strong need for simplifying our lives. Okay, we don't want to do as much. We might not even want to interact with people as much, but we need to interact with people because that sense of community that's going to help us. We might have noticed too, because of that intense energy, where maybe we could multitask before, we can't do it anymore. We can only focus on maybe one thing at a time. So we must prioritize what's most important to us and then maybe let some of the other things go or set them aside for now. This is a practical and energetic way to change how you're experiencing your energy. We want it to be better. We need to be deliberate. And if you need to give yourself a break, give yourself a break and stop pressuring yourself. This can be a bit of a challenge sometimes when we have people around us who, again, don't want us disrupting the status quo. We change something and they get upset. We have to commit to our energy so much that we can stay strong, even if someone is trying to talk us out of doing whatever it is we really want to do in terms of maybe taking that break or going away, whatever it is, whatever we need to do to feel better. So as you're managing your energy, remember to also look at how you're spending your energy and if it feels right to you or doesn't feel right to you. We've got to stop rushing through things so we have enough of a breath to figure out what's happening. Okay, next. This is a good one, right? Don't give your power away. Don't give your power away. It depletes your energy. No kidding, right? So it's like you trying to make something happen. You keep trying to make it happen and it's not working. And you keep trying and you keep trying and you get more and more frustrated. And then your energy goes lower and lower and lower and lower. Or maybe you're around some people who are really exhausting to be around. They really are. And you keep trying to be nice and you plaster that smile on your face and you keep going. And inside you're going, oh my God, I need to leave. I need to leave. I need to leave. And then you don't do it. And when you finally get out of there, your energy is gone. I have learned that if I overdo like readings in the summer, if I overdo them, maybe go too long because I'm having fun with somebody or something, that I can really deplete my energy. And I've learned it takes me 2 days to recover from this. I had to learn that the hard way. Don't learn it the hard way. Do a different way than I did. So now here's all the ways we give our power away. We give our power away when we resist a situation. You can tell you're resisting something because you're upset and you seem to be stuck there, right? Something is happening, you don't like it, you're really upset, and that's what you're thinking about. It's all you're thinking about. You might want things to be different or better, and you can't let that idea go. You keep wishing it would change. You keep wishing it would feel better. So you complain and complain, and you continue going back to telling the story of what's wrong. You might try to fix this by trying to force things to happen or control situations to just make whatever you want to happen. And when you're self-aware and being intentional, you'll recognize that what's actually making you feel badly is your resistance to the situation. That's what's making you feel badly. Now, side note, of course, yes, if something has happened that's upsetting and scary or whatever, we have to have emotions to it. We absolutely do. We must feel and process those emotions. We absolutely have to. We don't want to ignore or deny them. The problem is we can get stuck in the resistance, stuck in the wanting things to be different. Then we end up stuck in those emotions, which makes us feel worse. And then we can't move forward with clarity because we're stuck in that. Our mind's all caught up in that and we can't think anymore. So what we want to do is accept whatever's happening. Accept it is what it is. This doesn't mean that you like or approve of it. It doesn't mean you're giving up in failure. Okay, in acceptance, what this means is we're just going, okay, this is happening and it's a fact. That's what it means. Acceptance is not, oh, this is happening, I'm such a failure. That's not it at all. We're just stating it's a fact. So when we accept that something's happening, we let go of that resistance and that powerless complaining, because complaining is like one of the worst things we can do for our power. It just depletes us and depletes us. So what happens in the acceptance is it clears and strengthens our energy, and then we're back in our power. Now you'll have more mental clarity and you'll be able to come up with a strategy or action plan to handle whatever is happening. It's so interesting when we think about resistance in terms of situations, because we kind of go, it's kind of the old programming where we think we've just got to work harder to get where we need to go, but that's not how life works anymore. So if something's happening and we don't like it, we just want to accept it. That way we'll be able to move forward. Okay, next, we also give our power away when we want another person to see our point of view, which I've already mentioned. But we still try, even though it's obvious they aren't listening, they don't value your opinion, and they may not even care what you have to say. So to protect your energy, in that case, what's the best thing to do? What's your best choice? Stop doing it. That's pretty straightforward, isn't it? We also give our power away when we're waiting for someone else to apologize to us. When we're waiting for this to happen, what we're really doing is we're holding on to that negative energy. We want to justify our anger. We feel righteous. we feel like until they apologize, we're going to stay miserable. We're going to do it. It's almost as though we think that it's going to make them suffer in some way, right? It's that adage that's something along the lines of, we drink the poison thinking it's going to help somebody else. Greg likes to say that we're waiting for the apology and the other person's on the other side of town having a margarita and they're not even thinking about you. And here you are sending all your energy and all your power over there, waiting for them to do something they're probably never going to do. So to protect your energy here, what are you going to do? You're going to let go of needing that apology. Is it worth sacrificing your peace to hold on to that want? Is it worth it? I don't think so. If it is for you, you go for it. But why? Right? Another way we give away our power is when we defend ourselves to another person, trying to justify ourselves and explain to them why their opinion of us is wrong or why their opinion of what we're doing is wrong. To protect your energy, you can do it in a factional, emotional way. If you want to explain something to them, do it factually without attachment to them understanding you. It may not be worth the time, but you could try, at least once try, I suppose. And if they still don't get it, let it go, move on. Stop feeding their criticisms with your engagement. It's really not helpful for you. We also give our power away when we react out of habit, when we just do something mindlessly. We're not thinking at all. We say to ourselves, and you might recognize some of this. Thank you for the stars. I do see some stars coming up on my little teeny phone screen. We say some things to ourselves like, he always says this, and I always get so mad, or he's always judging me. He always does this. And this is where we keep having the same reaction to the same situation over and over again, right? The definition of insanity, keep doing the same thing while expecting a different result. We are actually giving our power away with that. The first time I heard some comment about giving power away, like if I was mad at somebody and they said to me, you're giving your power to them. And I thought, what does that mean? I'm giving my power to them. Like, am I literally giving it to them? And I'm not. What I'm doing is I'm spending so much energy because of a situation that it's just like it's leaving my body and my energetic field. Okay, we don't want to do it. So that's a really important point to remember. Don't give your power away. To manage and protect your energy, you're seeing a pattern here, right? We have to be intentional. We have to be deliberate. We have to be self-aware. We have to know what we're doing in order to go in a different direction. Now, some more thoughts on this, particularly for those of you who are empaths. And this information will apply to everyone, but empaths, as you know, are very sensitive and intuitive. And we, as empaths, feel everything very deeply. And we can really be struggling during this chaotic time because the energy, again, is very intense. Now, here's part of being an empath, though. And I'm personally getting a little tired of listening to empaths saying, well, I'm an empath, so I have to feel this way. Or I'm an empath, so of course I'm miserable. I'm an empath, so I have to pick up everybody's energies. You don't. You absolutely don't. If you're an empath and you feel like that, or you're noticing this, you really do want to work on managing your energy. Empaths do not have to pick up everybody's energies. We do not have to do that. If you're aware and intentional, you can stop doing it. So, some suggestions for you empaths out there and everybody else too. Set boundaries for yourself, right? This is what we hear all the time. Set boundaries for yourself. So you've got to be extra self-aware of what you can handle. And then you have to be ruthless about protecting your energy. Ruthless. This means you don't give yourself excuses as to why you can't whatever. This means you stand up for yourself and you do the best you can. Okay, it looks like a stars party has been activated. Thank you, Ron. I'm sure you started it. Okay for you, when you're being ruthless and protecting your energy, to set your boundaries after the fact. You don't have to have given somebody a warning 1, 2, or 10 times. You can just say, you know what? This isn't acceptable to me. Done. You can also have a boundary with yourself, right? If you know the news upsets you, don't watch the news. It's easy. So have your boundaries. The other thing as an empath is don't overgive. Don't give so much to other people that you literally sacrifice your energy. Okay, it's the airplane mask, oxygen mask thing, right? You've got to protect your energy so you can give to others as you're doing this. Okay, we have to do that. Now, I'm going to backtrack 2 seconds. As an empath, I am teaching an empath survival skills at Lilydale, June something. It's in June. Anyway, if you're an empath and you want some more strategies on how to protect your energy, make sure you check out that class. Okay, so don't sacrifice your energy for others. Don't do it. Even though there are times where maybe we have a family or friend situation going on and we really do need to be there for them because they're having a health crisis, whatever it might be, we still need to find time to replenish our energy so that we can make it through that time. It's essential. Okay, another thing, as an empath and everyone else, prioritize your needs. Take time to really check in with yourself and know what you need, and then be courageous in honoring it. It can be really hard for empaths to do this because a lot of us as empaths are people pleasers. We keep everybody else happy because we know what they need and everything. And it can feel weird and wrong even for ourselves to protect our energy, to take time and to be courageous and say no, or I can't, or to pull away from something or someone that is overwhelming you. But we have to be brave, we have to be courageous, we have to do this. It's to our benefit so that we can be healthier as well. As an empath, you want to also embrace your sensitivity. Being an empath is wonderful. It really is. There is so much there that we can use and work with, and being an empath gives us so much more joy in life because we intuitively know what people need and also ourselves. And being an empath and having empathic abilities is wonderful. And even though you may have noticed some people are attacking empathy as a flaw or weakness, which I was so surprised to see, empathy is actually what's going to bring the world together. It's the empathy. It's the kindness. It's the thinking about other people. It's the being there for other people. Okay, without sacrificing ourselves, but it's that connection that is creating the oneness. So you empaths out there who have been naturally connecting with people your whole lives, you are an important part of this consciousness shift and raising that vibration. Another part of being an empath and others is being deliberate about how you show up in the world. How are you showing up? Are you living from your soul's light and your love? Are you being kind, compassionate, considering, caring to yourself and other people? Here's the thing. In the face of this darkness and chaos that's out there, your light matters. Your empathic abilities matter. And we have to start here first. We have to start giving kindness and care to ourselves first before we give to others. We have to. And when we do this, when we embrace our empathic abilities, when we embrace our love and light, when we embrace living as our souls, our energy gets stronger, our vibration raises, and we're making a difference. As we take care of ourselves, our vibration again raises and we get stronger and we're more capable of handling everything that's happening in the world. You know how it is when you're tired, right? That something can set you off. But if we're working consciously, intentionally about raising our vibration, our power gets stronger. Okay, and the next thing, this is for everybody, we're into the 5th idea, is obviously going to be self-care. It is necessary for managing our energy, particularly at this time. Particularly now, because the darkness is so prevalent, it's all around, we're seeing it everywhere. As we're doing this with the self-care, I'm going to go back to that sense of community again. where some of us are probably used to being alone or like to be alone to protect our energy this way. We want to recognize that part of our self-care now is connecting with the right people. The people who get you, the people who understand you, the people who are of the love and the light, the people that you will meet at my retreat if you come, the people that we have in our soul empowerment community, the people we have here right now on Facebook, my clients, my friends, all my Lilydale people, all of you people, we're all a community. And it's important for our self-care to bring our energy together so that we all can rise up. It accelerates our ability to rise up when we are all together. Okay, it can be online. It doesn't have to always be in person. Both are good. So we'll take either as long as we're having connections with each other. So in self-care, we also want to rebalance our focus. We cannot spend a majority of our energy worrying, focusing on what could go wrong, and all of that, catastrophizing things. We have to find a balance between being aware of what's happening in the world and ourselves and our needs. It is not selfish for you to live a good life, find joy, find peace, even though some things are falling apart. It's not selfish. It is actually necessary, and it's self-care for you to do the best you can to raise up so that you can be there again, stronger. So we want to find that balance. If you find you're getting caught up in the stories, the news, negativity, whatever it is, you're going to immediately pause and you're going to breathe, because when you breathe, you get back into your body, and then you are going to make a choice as to what you're going to do next. You're going to be intentional. Okay, just the simple act of noticing that you're feeling overwhelmed or you're stuck in the news or whatever is getting you going, noticing you're upset, just noticing that and then stopping, doing the pausing and the breathing, you are back in your power. You're back in your power. You're no longer feeling out of control. That is probably one of the most important things I've been teaching over the last year, is our ability to recognize when something is going wrong, and we notice how we're feeling and we go in a different direction. That is the most important thing to do in terms of managing your energy and having a happier life. So if you are, another thought, if you are struggling to let go of emotional reactions or worries over the past or the future, whatever it is you're getting stuck in, okay, again, you're noticing, you're going to pause, you're going to breathe, and then not only can you choose which direction to go in, what you might want to do is just bring yourself back to the present moment. This is highly effective if you are feeling really upset or you're stuck in something and you can't get out of your head. It is so effective. As soon as you notice you're losing it, basically, you're going to pause, you're going to breathe, and you're going to get back in the present moment. You can notice your body. How does your body feel? You can notice the breathing. You can count your breath. Sometimes that's helpful. You can notice the breath in your body. Okay. And as you're doing this, another way that you can get yourself back into this present moment is to also look around you. Look around the room and notice your surroundings. I've told you about this before, and I don't know if you all know that, or remember that, or were even here at that moment. But one of the most effective ways to break that fear in your head is to sit here and go, okay, I see that I've got a closet over here. The color is light green. It's made out of wood. There's a picture up there. It's made out of wood. It has birds on it. The colors are white and gray. And you just describe everything that is around you. It gets you out of your head and out of your worries, back into the present moment. And this can really help you if you're struggling with something. So this is a great form of self-care. Another thing, and I've mentioned this earlier, and I'm just going to mention it again real quickly, is it is going after your dreams and your goals, because this replenishes your energy. It keeps you in your power and it raises your vibration. I can't emphasize this enough, that we have to take care of ourselves while we're here in this world, and we have to do what is going to bring us a better life, a life that we really enjoy. The other part, of course, with self-care is replenishing your energy. right? So we know this. We know these things, and I'm going to mention them anyway. One is sitting in stillness. It doesn't necessarily have to be a meditation, but it might be a meditation for you. Maybe it's just sitting and looking at the water. Maybe it's just being here and just breathing, taking a moment for yourself, slowing down. Maybe you sit and you breathe and you connect to your inner self, or you connect to the light, okay? And angel challenged, pause, breathe, ground, observe surroundings. Got it, yes. My favorite thing these days is pause, breathe, and choose. So pause, breathe, get back in your body and choose what you're gonna do. Another thing to replenish your energy, of course, is nature. Have you noticed you have a really strong need for nature lately? Have you noticed that the more chaotic the world gets, you really need to get outside, you really need to take a walk? So the other part is movement, right? We need some movement. We need some physical body movement. It can be taking a walk. It could be vacuuming the house or doing the dishes, whatever it is, washing windows. How fun, right? It could be that. That's getting you back in your body. This is really good for your energy. It replenishes your energy. It gives your mind a break. What drains our mind? Our thoughts in our head. That's what drains our energy. It drains things out of us. We worry, we think, we're doing all this stuff. Our thinking and our worrying is actually a symptom of what's happening in our heads as we're thinking too much. So we want to be able to set it aside, set the thoughts aside. And part of our problem in managing energy is we think we can't do that, but we can. And then we replenish it, stillness, nature, creativity even, right? Expressing things, hobbies, painting, writing, reorganizing your house, sewing, doing the laundry could be creative if it is for you. Whatever it is, we've got to do these things. Replenishing our energy, we can also do it by doing things that make us feel most like ourselves. Whatever it is that makes us feel most like ourselves. You know how it is when you're having fun or you're walking and doing something, you're talking to somebody and you feel better after. We need to be intentional about doing these things. As humans, we have a really hard time with this. We really do. We I don't know what it is. It's like we don't want to enjoy our lives, or we feel like we have to do it later or whatever. And so we want to be, in managing, protecting your energy, you want to be deliberate and intentional. You want to prioritize yourself. You want to take care of yourself. It's good to do this. And when you do this, it does improve the energy of the world. And that's kind of what your point is right now. This is why you're alive. You're here to help us move into this new vibration. That's what's happening. You know, a couple more thoughts I have, and then it's almost time to stop. My goodness me, I can't believe my phone held out. You can do an energy bubble. I've told you guys about that before, right? An energy bubble. So say you've got to go to, a family dinner, and there's going to be somebody there who's a jerk, and they're always a jerk. So you envision in the morning when you get up, you envision this bubble around you full of positive, joyful, wonderful, protective energy. And you set the intention that this bubble is going to protect you from negativity. And so you feel it like energetically, you intend it to be there, you really get into it. And then when you go to this dinner, somebody says something and their words just bounce off you, they don't bother you. An energy bundle really helps. Hi, Charity, I don't have an Audible book yet for my copy of my book, but maybe someday. So that's that. So you can do that, making an energy bubble. When we get up in the morning, and if you set an intention for your day, you are actually managing your energy. So if you're wanting more peace, you get up in the morning and you want more peace, right? So you say to yourself, I am peace. I am peaceful. And you feel what you would feel if you were peace and peaceful. How would you feel? You'll notice your body probably relaxes. You might feel more confident. You might feel more clear. Hold on to that feeling and repeat to yourself again, I am peace, or I am peaceful, whichever you prefer. And then as you go throughout your day, you've set a direction for how you want your day to go. You've already set a direction on how you want to manage your energy. You've taken care of it already. And as your day goes, you'll find moments where you are peaceful. And you'll recognize it and go, oh, look I responded with peace, or whatever it might be. So this is managing your energy. These days, with the chaos and turmoil out there, you must manage your energy. I've noticed if I'm not intentional or if I forget to do a meditation or whatever, after a few days, I kind of start losing it. I just I get more impatient and I get more, I don't even know what. Maybe Greg would tell me what I get more like. But anyway, I know that I need to be intentional about what I'm doing. It is necessary. So this week, you definitely want to be aware of how you're using your energy. If you have questions, write them in the comments. Obviously, I have not been able to see them go by because I am on my phone and not my computer because of whatever is going on with tech, but I'll see if I can't fix it before next time. And if you have questions, write them in there. If I said something that it was unclear and you need more information on it, or if you have a question about something happening and you'd like a little bit more guidance on how to protect your energy, I'm sure I can come up with a few things and Spirit will let me know what I need to tell you. So I hope that you have found this helpful this evening. I'm sorry it was a little bit chaotic here in the beginning as I was trying to figure out what we were doing and how to do the show without my normal tech, but it seems to have worked out okay. So if you guys are feeling awesome and wonderful, I'm reading what Greg just wrote because I could actually see that. She thinks she's in a bad mood. She's not really in a bad mood too much anyway. So what we want to do, again, be intentional. If life gets a little bit more chaotic in the next few weeks, take a moment to breathe and get back into the present. I told the Transcendence class people that they needed to meditate and get into the light every day. Every day. If it was 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it was, because when we do this, it helps us strengthen our energy and we're getting stronger, and we need to build our energy so we continue to move through this chaos that is happening now. It's a necessity. And besides, you'll feel a lot better. So I want to thank you for joining me tonight, and I will see you the next time I see you. I hope this has been helpful. Feel free again to write questions, ask, make comments, etc. You guys have a great night. I'll see you later. Bye.